Have you ever noticed how your own thoughts can betray you? How they seem to have a mind of their own, working quietly against your desires, goals, and even your happiness? Most people assume that thinking is inherently good, that the more we think, the clearer our path becomes. But in reality, your thoughts are often the architects of your limitations, the subtle saboteurs of your potential, and the invisible chains that keep you from freedom. Your thoughts are products of layers upon layers of conditioning. From the moment you were born, every experience, every lesson, every fear, and every cultural imprint formed a framework through which your mind interprets the world. These frameworks were necessary. They kept you safe as a child, guided you toward survival, and helped you navigate society. Yet they do not always serve your higher purpose. Many of the rules embedded in your thinking are outdated, rigid, and misaligned with who you are meant to become. Consider how your thoughts operate in moments of stress. A single event, a criticism, a mistake, a delay can trigger a cascade of judgments. I can't do this, and I'm not enough. I'll fail again. These thoughts feel urgent, convincing, and undeniable, yet they are often nothing more than echoes of past experiences, projected onto the present. They are not truth. They are rehearsed fears, rehearsed doubts, and rehearsed limitations masquerading as reality. And here's the harsh truth. The more you believe your thoughts unquestioningly, the more you give them power. Every time you accept a negative narrative as fact, you reinforce the neural pathways that strengthen it. Your brain literally wires itself to favor defeat, fear, and hesitation. Thoughts, when left unchecked, become invisible shackles, chains you cannot see but which dictate every choice, every word, and every action. But awareness changes everything. The first step is realizing that you are not your thoughts. Thoughts are like clouds in the sky of your consciousness. They pass, they change, and they are not permanent. You are the sky itself, vast, observing, and unconstrained. When you see your thoughts this way, you stop reacting impulsively. You begin to create space between stimulus and response, between belief and action. That space is where freedom is born. The second step is to question your thoughts relentlessly. Every limiting thought is an opportunity to dig deeper. Why do I believe this? Is this my truth or someone else's? Is this fear real or imagined? By interrogating your thoughts, you weaken their grip and replace automatic acceptance with conscious choice. This is not a one-time process, it is a lifelong practice. But every time you engage, you regain a fragment of your autonomy. Your thoughts also betray you when they cling to the past or obsess over the future. Anxiety and regret are symptoms of this misalignment. The mind ruminates, rehearses mistakes, and predicts worst-case scenarios endlessly. In doing so, it drains your energy, clouds your judgment, and steals your presence. Yet the present moment, what you are actually experiencing, is always more expansive, more peaceful, and more powerful than any thought about yesterday or tomorrow. Learning to anchor your attention in the now is a key strategy to prevent your thoughts from hijacking your life. And yet there is another layer. Not all thoughts are harmful. Some are constructive, insightful, and even guiding. The challenge lies in discernment. You must develop the ability to distinguish between thought patterns that serve your growth and those that enslave you. This discernment transforms the mind from an unpredictable adversary into a trusted collaborator. It allows you to harness mental energy to solve problems, innovate, and make conscious decisions aligned with your purpose. Ultimately, your thoughts are neutral. They are tools, not masters. What makes them harmful or helpful is how you engage with them. Unexamined, they will sabotage you. Observed, questioned, and integrated, they can become your most powerful allies. The shift happens when you stop surrendering to every thought and start acting from awareness, choice, and intentionality. So remember this. The next time your mind seems to conspire against you, pause, observe, question, decide consciously whether this thought serves you or diminishes you. This simple practice, repeated daily, gradually rewires your relationship with your own mind. It turns a battlefield into a laboratory, a saboteur into a teacher, and chaos into clarity. Your thoughts are not inherently on your side, but they can be trained, understood, and aligned. And when that alignment occurs, your mind stops working against you and starts working with you, unlocking potentials you never realized existed. There is an enemy you have never seen, never fought, and yet it shapes your life more than any external adversary ever could. This enemy is not outside of you. It lives within, quiet, patient, relentless. It is the accumulation of fear, guilt, resentment, shame, and unacknowledged pain that you have carried throughout your life. Most people never meet it, because meeting it requires courage, honesty, and the willingness to confront parts of yourself you have long ignored. But until you do, this inner enemy will silently dictate your choices, your emotions, and even your destiny. The inner enemy is clever. It masquerades as your conscience, your logic, or your self-preservation instinct. It disguises its attacks as helpful warnings or critical insight. Yet beneath the surface, it sows doubt, hesitation, and self-sabotage. It thrives when ignored, feeding off denial and avoidance. And because it is invisible, most people blame external circumstances for their failures, never realizing that the true battle has always been within. This enemy often manifests in subtle ways. You procrastinate, even on tasks that are crucial for your growth. You repeat destructive patterns in relationships. You undermine your own goals with thoughts like, "I'm not ready," or "I can't do this." These are not accidents. They are the inner enemy, exploiting the cracks in your awareness, keeping you trapped in cycles of frustration, fear, and unfulfilled potential. But why does this enemy exist? Why does it have so much influence? The answer lies in avoidance. Every fear you refuse to face, every painful memory you bury, and every emotion you deny creates space for this enemy to grow. It is nurtured in silence and fed by neglect. The longer you avoid confronting the truths of your own psyche, the stronger it becomes. Yet here is the paradox. The very qualities you fear, anger, grief, vulnerability, are not the enemy themselves. The real enemy is the refusal to acknowledge and integrate these parts of yourself. The moment you face what you have been running from, the enemy loses its power. Shadows are transformed into light when observed. Fear becomes courage when understood, and chaos becomes clarity when confronted directly. Confronting the inner enemy begins with self-awareness. Begin by observing the patterns of resistance in your life. Notice what triggers anger, jealousy, shame, or fear. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding by reacting this way? What unresolved pain or unacknowledged desire is lying beneath these responses? These questions are uncomfortable, yes, but they are the doorway to mastery over yourself. Once identified, the next step is engagement. This means facing your fears, your past wounds, and your suppressed emotions without judgment. It means sitting with discomfort, embracing vulnerability, and allowing the truths you have denied to surface. This process is transformative because it converts the inner enemy from a force of sabotage into a guide for self-understanding. Integration follows confrontation. Every part of yourself that the inner enemy exposes is a piece of your authentic self. Anger, when understood, teaches boundaries. Guilt, when examined, teaches responsibility. Fear, when faced, teaches courage. The inner enemy is not a monster to be destroyed. It is a teacher disguised as a foe, revealing precisely where growth, freedom, and power are most needed. Many people flee from this inner struggle, choosing distraction, denial, or avoidance. But every time you do, the enemy grows stronger. It manifests in your health, your relationships, your career, and even your dreams. Success becomes elusive, fulfillment remains distant, and life feels heavier than it should. The only way to liberate yourself is to stop running and start confronting. And the reward for this confrontation is extraordinary. By facing the inner enemy, you reclaim the energy that was once consumed by fear, doubt, and resistance. You reclaim clarity, focus, and the capacity to act boldly. You turn what was once a hidden saboteur into a source of wisdom, self-knowledge, and inner strength. You become whole. So today, recognize this invisible adversary for what it is. Do not fear it. Do not blame it. Meet it with courage, understanding, and resolve. The inner enemy exists not to defeat you, but to teach you, to guide you toward integration, and to reveal the depth of your own power. Only by facing it directly can you step fully into your potential and live a life that is not dictated by hidden fears, but led by conscious awareness and intention. Because the inner enemy you never learned to face is not your true foe. Your ignorance of it is, and the moment you see it clearly, understand it deeply, and integrate its lessons, you reclaim the freedom, clarity, and strength that have always been your birthright. The fiercest battles we ever fight are not fought in boardrooms, streets, or arenas. They are fought in the confines of our own minds. Every day, countless people struggle, falter, and even fail. Not because the world is too harsh, but because the mind, their most intimate ally, becomes their most formidable adversary. Understanding why this happens is crucial, for until you grasp the hidden mechanics of your inner conflict, victory will remain elusive. The first reason most people lose is ignorance. We enter life unaware that the mind is a battlefield, unaware that thoughts, emotions, and subconscious patterns can betray us. We trust every impulse, obey every fear, and surrender to every doubt, believing them to be absolute truths. And because we do not question, reflect, or observe, we unknowingly give power to the very forces that limit our growth. The second reason is fragmentation. Our consciousness is not a single, unified force. It is a complex landscape of desires, fears, memories, and drives, many of which operate without our conscious awareness. These elements often conflict. One part of the mind desires freedom, growth, and authenticity, while another clings to safety, approval, and habit. When these forces are unexamined, they collide, creating chaos, indecision, and self-sabotage. It is like trying to drive a car while two drivers struggle. Over the steering wheel, one is heading toward purpose, the other toward avoidance. Third, we lose because of avoidance. The mind attacks most effectively when we refuse to confront uncomfortable truths, when we deny our shadow, ignore our patterns, and suppress our feelings. Every avoidance creates internal tension, feeding the very thoughts, fears, and behaviors we seek to escape. The mind, in this sense, is neither fair nor cruel. It simply reflects what we refuse to face, amplifying the consequences until we can no longer ignore them. Fourth, the mind thrives on repetition. Habits, both conscious and unconscious, are reinforced through constant rehearsal. Negative thought patterns, self-criticism, and fear-based reactions are wired into the brain over time. The more we repeat them, the stronger they become, until they feel automatic, inevitable, and impossible to change. This is why even when we consciously wish to act differently, the mind pulls us back into familiar patterns, making defeat seem unavoidable. But here is the key insight. Losing the battle is not permanent, nor is it a reflection of weakness. It is an invitation to awareness, understanding, and transformation. Once we recognize the mechanics of our own mind, its fears, shadows, repetitive patterns, and internal conflicts, we gain the power to intervene. Awareness is the lever that shifts the mind from adversary to ally. The path to victory begins with observation. Watch your thoughts as they arise. Notice patterns of fear, avoidance, and self-sabotage. Observe without judgment. Understand that the mind is signaling, not condemning. Each disruptive thought, each inner conflict, is an opportunity to uncover a hidden truth about yourself. Next comes integration. This means reconciling the fragmented parts of your consciousness, the anxious, fearful, or reactive parts, with the conscious, aware self. By acknowledging and embracing these elements, you no longer fight blindly against yourself. Instead, you harness their energy for constructive action. The anxiety that once immobilized you can become focus. The fear that once paralyzed you can become courage. The shadow that once sabotaged you can become wisdom. The final reason people lose the battle inside their own minds is lack of intention. A passive mind drifts, reacts, and surrenders, but a conscious mind chooses. Victory is not the absence of fear, doubt, or inner conflict. It is the ability to act in alignment with your purpose despite them. Every conscious decision, every mindful choice, gradually strengthens the mind's coherence, transforming it from a battlefield into a powerful instrument of growth, creativity, and self-mastery. So why do most people lose? Not because they are weak, but because they have not yet learned the rules of the inner game. They have not yet observed, integrated, or acted intentionally. They mistake the mind's chaos for reality, surrender to its manipulations, and give away the power that always belonged to them. Yet here is the hope, the transformation, the profound truth. The battle is winnable. Every insight, every observation, every courageous confrontation with fear, doubt, and shadow strengthens your inner command. Every choice to act consciously, to integrate the hidden self, and to question the authority of thoughts brings you closer to mastery. The mind is not your enemy. It is a complex ally that can be tamed, guided, and aligned with your highest potential. The moment you stop blaming your mind and start understanding it, you reclaim control. You no longer lose the battle, you orchestrate it. You become the conscious commander of your inner world. And in that command, you unlock freedom, clarity, and the extraordinary power to shape not just your mind, but your life. So today, embrace this truth. The battles you thought you were losing were invitations to mastery. The chaos in your head was a call to awareness. The inner conflicts were opportunities to reclaim your power. When you understand why you lose, observe the patterns, confront the shadows, and act with intention, victory becomes inevitable. Your mind, once a battlefield, becomes a realm of conscious creation, and your life transforms in ways you never imagined possible.